Welcome back to Luxona, where millionaires are made and financial freedom becomes your reality. The Vanderbilt family was worth $200 billion in today's money, but 120 years later, not a single descendant was a millionaire. What happened to their generational wealth? If you think your kids will automatically be rich because you are, you're about to learn a harsh truth. The number one mistake wealthy parents make that destroys family fortunes and generational wealth is coming up. But first, before we dive deep into this disturbing reality about how rich families lose money, comment below and tell me honestly, do you think your wealth will survive to your great-grandchildren? Let's see who's being brutally realistic here about building generational wealth. Today, I'm going to reveal the exact wealth preservation blueprint for being in the elite 10% that succeeds in preserving generational wealth. Because here's what nobody talks about at those fancy wealth management seminars where they charge you thousands just to hear basic advice. There's a brutal reality called the shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves phenomenon that destroyed the Vanderbilt empire, the Whitney dynasty, and the Pulitzer fortune. It's the exact same reason why lottery winners go broke and professional athletes lose everything within 5 years of retirement. The psychology behind wealth destruction and how rich families lose money is absolutely devastating, and I guarantee you've witnessed this destruction firsthand. So comment reality if you've seen this pattern happen in your own family or community regarding family wealth preservation. But here's the plot twist that will change everything you think you know about generational wealth and wealth preservation. It's not about the money itself, it's about something much deeper and more fundamental. If you don't understand and fix this critical flaw in your wealth-building strategy, your fortune is already doomed to disappear. These are the 5 silent killers of family fortunes and generational wealth that operate like financial cancer. Most wealthy families have at least 3 of these deadly diseases eating away at their legacy right now. First, the entitlement epidemic that's destroying America's wealthy families and their generational wealth. Why giving everything to your children creates absolutely nothing of value, and the devastating psychology of unearned wealth that ruins character. Because rich kids who never struggled become poor adults who always struggle and never understand the value of a dollar. Second, financial illiteracy inheritance and poor money management education. Parents who accumulated massive wealth but never teach their children money management principles or wealth-building strategies. The dangerous assumption that wealth management is someone else's job and your kids will just figure out how to preserve family wealth. But here's the brutal truth. You can't inherit financial wisdom through DNA. It must be actively taught and reinforced every single day. Third, the lifestyle inflation trap that destroys more millionaires than market crashes. Living off principal instead of investment returns, confusing the rich lifestyle with actual wealth-building strategies and wealth preservation. Because looking rich and being rich are 2 completely different games with completely different rules and outcomes for your family fortune. Fourth, poor investment philosophy and bad money management that turns millionaires into broke individuals. Emotional investing versus systematic wealth-building approaches, the get-rich-quick mentality that infects wealthy families and destroys generational wealth. Because the fastest way to lose money and destroy family fortunes is trying to make it fast through speculation and gambling. Fifth, family division and lack of unity that tears apart even the strongest financial foundations and destroys generational wealth. Fighting over inheritance instead of building together having no shared vision or values that unite the family around wealth preservation. Because more family fortunes are lost in heated family meetings than in stock market crashes during recessions. Which of these wealth destroyers and threats to generational wealth do you see most often in your circle? Comment the number below. Have you personally witnessed any of these devastating patterns in wealthy families you know who lost their generational wealth? Now here's how the elite 10% who succeed actually preserve and grow their wealth across generations using proven wealth preservation strategies. And it's completely different from what you think you know about generational wealth and family money management. First pillar of wealth preservation. Build character before building wealth. Teaching delayed gratification from the earliest age possible. Creating earned privileges systems where nothing is given for free. Because rich parents who make their kids work for everything aren't mean or cruel, they're incredibly smart and strategic about character development. Second pillar of generational wealth building. Financial education as core curriculum in your household. Teaching budgeting, investing, and business principles as naturally as teaching reading and writing. Making kids participate in family financial discussions and wealth management decisions. Because your children should absolutely know your net worth, understand your wealth building strategy, and clearly understand your expectations. Third pillar of wealth preservation. The proven 70-20-10 wealth strategy that boring millionaires use for generational wealth. 70% systematic investing in boring but incredibly effective index funds and blue-chip stocks for long-term wealth building. 20% real estate and appreciating assets that generate income and preserve wealth. 10% high-risk, high-reward ventures for explosive growth potential. Because boring investing beats exciting investing every single time over decades when building generational wealth. Fourth pillar of family wealth management. Create sophisticated systems, not just savings accounts. Establishing family trusts and legal structures that protect wealth and ensure wealth preservation. Building multiple income streams that generate cash flow regardless of market conditions. Because truly, rich families don't just have money sitting around, they have money-making systems that work automatically. Fifth pillar of generational wealth preservation. Values-based wealth transfer that creates legacy. Teaching stewardship over ownership mentality, creating detailed family mission statements that guide financial decisions. Because the families that successfully keep wealth for generations don't just pass down money, they pass down purpose, values, and a clear vision. Which pillar of wealth preservation do you think is most important for your family situation and generational wealth goals? Comment below and let me know your thoughts about family wealth management. What's one financial lesson about money management or wealth building you learned from your parents that was either incredibly valuable or completely wrong? Here's exactly what you need to do, starting today, to join the elite 10% who preserve generational wealth using proven wealth preservation strategies. First, conduct a completely honest family wealth audit to understand your current situation and identify weaknesses in your wealth management approach. Second, start having regular family financial meetings where everyone participates and learns about wealth preservation and money management. Third, create structured learning opportunities through formal financial education for your children about wealth building and generational wealth principles. Fourth, build the right diversified systems using a systematic approach rather than emotional decisions for your family wealth management. Fifth, document your family values and create a written family wealth mission statement that guides all major decisions about generational wealth. The fundamental difference between families that build true generational wealth and those that lose everything isn't talent, luck, timing, or even starting capital. It's having a comprehensive wealth preservation plan and sticking to it through good times and bad times while focusing on proven money management strategies. What's your biggest takeaway from this video about generational wealth and wealth preservation? And more importantly, what's your first concrete action step you're going to take this week toward building generational wealth? If you want to be in the elite 10% that succeeds in building generational wealth and mastering wealth preservation, make sure to subscribe to Luxona. Comment below with your biggest challenge with wealth preservation and family wealth management so I can help you. Share this video with someone who needs to see this life-changing information about generational wealth. And stay tuned for our next video about the investment strategy that never fails even during market crashes. Remember this fundamental truth about building generational wealth. Building wealth is hard, but keeping wealth and growing it across generations is infinitely harder. Which one are you currently focused on for your family fortune and generational wealth goals? This has been another episode of Luxona, where millionaires are made and generational wealth becomes your family's new reality through proven wealth preservation strategies. I'll see you in the next video about advanced wealth building and money management techniques.